What if I told you that moving overseas could quietly cut your age pension in half, and Centrelink won't call you to warn you about it? Thousands of Australian retirees are dreaming of spending their golden years in Bali, the Philippines, Greece, or right next door in New Zealand, but almost none of them know the real rules that determine whether their pension survives the move. One wrong assumption, one missed form, one skipped phone call to Centrelink, and your fortnightly payment could shrink overnight. Your concession card could vanish, and you could find yourself trying to survive on a fraction of what you were promised. If you are even thinking about retiring overseas, or you already have family members living abroad on the age pension, this video could save you thousands of dollars. So stick around, because what you don't know here really can hurt you. Welcome back to Aussie Benefit, the channel that helps you understand exactly what you are entitled to and how to protect it. Today we are breaking down one of the most misunderstood parts of the entire age pension system. What actually happens to your payment when you live overseas in 2026? If you are new here, hit that subscribe button and tap the like button right now, because we release videos every single week that walk you through pensions, benefits, and Centrelink rules in plain English. No jargon, no confusion, just the facts you actually need. This topic matters more than ever, because more Australians are retiring overseas than at any point in history, whether for cheaper living costs, warmer weather, or simply to be closer to family. But the age pension was built around Australian residency, and once you step outside the country for an extended period, a completely different set of rules kicks in. Let's get into exactly what changes, when it changes, and how you can protect as much of your pension as possible. The first thing you need to understand is the 6-week rule. If you are planning a holiday or a short trip overseas, your age pension itself will keep being paid as normal. However, once you pass the 6-week mark outside Australia, several of your add-on payments change. Your pension supplement drops down to the basic rate, your energy supplement stops completely, and your concession card is canceled. This catches so many retirees off guard because they assume the pension is one single lump sum, when really it is made up of a base payment plus several extra supplements that are only available while you are considered an Australian resident actively living in the country. So even a slightly longer holiday, like visiting grandchildren overseas for 2 months, can quietly shrink your total payment. The second and much bigger factor is what happens if you move overseas permanently, or for what Centrelink considers a long-term stay. This is where something called Australian Working Life Residence, or AWLR, becomes critical. To keep receiving your full age pension rate while living overseas long-term, you generally need 35 years of AWLR, which is calculated from the time you turn 16 until you reach pension age. If you have fewer than 35 years, your pension does not stop, but it gets reduced proportionally. For example, if you only have 20 years of AWLR, you might only receive 20/35 of the full pension rate once you are living overseas long-term. This proportional reduction applies after 26 weeks overseas, so the 6-week rule affects your supplements, and the 26-week mark is when the bigger recalculation of your core payment happens. Another detail that surprises people is what happens to your home. If you own your home in Australia and decide to live overseas, your property remains exempt from the assets test for up to 12 months. After that 12-month period, if you are still overseas, you are reclassified as a non-homeowner for assessment purposes, which changes your asset test thresholds and can affect your payment rate as well. There is also an important rule for people who left Australia before they even started receiving the pension, known as former residents. If you apply for the age pension while already living overseas, or shortly after returning, there can be a 2-year qualifying period before your payment becomes portable, meaning payable overseas at all. Leave the country again before that 2-year period is up, and your payment can be canceled entirely, forcing you to return to Australia and reapply from scratch. On top of all this, Australia has social security agreements with a number of countries, and if you move to one of those countries, different rules may apply that can actually work in your favor, sometimes allowing you to combine periods of residence in both countries to qualify for a pension you might not otherwise receive. But if you move to a country without an agreement, the standard portability rules we just covered are what apply. The most important practical step through all of this is communication. You must notify Centrelink before you leave the country and again when you return, because failing to update your travel details is one of the leading causes of overpayments, debts, and payment suspensions among retirees living overseas. Centrelink does not just take your word for it either. They cross-check travel movement records. So trying to quietly stay overseas longer than reported almost always catches up with people eventually. So to sum it all up, your age pension will not simply disappear the moment you land in another country, but the amount you receive, the supplements attached to it, and how your assets are assessed can all shift significantly depending on how long you are away and how many years of Australian working life residence you have built up. The 6-week mark affects your supplements and concessions. The 26-week mark can trigger a proportional reduction based on your AWLR, and your home stops being exempt after 12 months overseas. If you are planning this kind of move, the smartest thing you can do is contact Centrelink directly before you go, get your AWLR calculated in writing, and understand exactly which category you fall into. If this video helped clear things up, do us a huge favor and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Aussie Benefit so you never miss an update on pensions, benefits, and the rules that protect your retirement. Drop a comment below if you have questions about your own situation. We read every single one, and we will see you in the next video.